350 stores could close. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because I'd like to have a look at this article on news.com.au, written by Rebecca Lee May and Gerard Coburn, discussing Solomon Lew's premier investments, who are claiming high rents could force the closure of 350 stores. Now, is this just a strategic statement from them to try and get a better rental deal, or an insight into just the burden on, well, the retail sector? We've all heard of horrific rents. The other day, we looked at someone who was giving away a business here in Brisbane where they'd invested significant amounts of money in a fit-out. Fit-outs aren't cheap. And I suspect, reading between the lines, it's to get out of high rents. High rents. That can really be a big burden on any business that's setting up, particularly in retail centres. I remember when I went into a retail shopping centre from a commercial office, they forced, because it was in a retail shop, there were all these requirements to get this check, the business plan, this, lawyers, accountants, everything, just to sign the lease, even though it was half of what I was paying at my other location. It's funny that. It's because of all of just the mum and dad stories of people getting into trouble. The owner of some of Australia's most recognisable brands warns high rents in shopping centres could cause up to 350 store closures, saying landlords will be responsible for job losses. Do they care? Do they care? The landlords. I mean, that's the thing. There needs to be time for them to get used to the fact that they're not simply going to get their 4% rent increase every year. Premier Investments has already started to carry through on its threat to close potentially hundreds of stores across Australia and New Zealand if landlords don't give enough COVID-19 rent relief, warning their shopping centre is worth less without its iconic brand. And that's true. It may seem arrogant on their part, but it is true because the value of these real estate assets is tied to their occupancy rate. It's tied to their occupancy rate. And if they start having all these empty venues, empty shops appear, are people going to be more inclined to shop there or less? Then their foot traffic will go down. So it'll have an impact. I mean, I don't think we're going to have... I'll bring up some data here. This is the shopping centre data, square meterage of GLA, gross lettable area per person. Now, in the United States, they have this, YouTube channels where people just go through all these abandoned malls. And we don't quite have the same thing here in Australia. Here in Australia, we don't have the same area. We're still right up there. We're below Canada, but we're not at the United States. They've got more than double the square meterage of GLA per person than we have here in Australia. I mean, they love their shopping malls there. Look at Canada. It's 156 square meters per person compared to us, 100. And I mean, look at some of the other countries, just how low it goes. Look at Germany, only 21. So sadly guys, I don't think I can start a dead malls channel here in Australia. I think people will find other uses for them. I mean, look at all of the old what is it? Not Bunnings, the other one, Masters. All the Masters that are now getting flipped and converted. They don't stay empty for long here. We just don't have the same square meterage that they do in the States. But they're right. Fundamentally, they're right. If they start pulling out of these shopping centers, it's going to have an impact. So, despite posting a 29% surge in net profit to $137.8 million, from 2019-20 financial year, the company, which owns brands including Peter Alexander, Smiggles, Just Jeans, Portman's, and JJ's, says it will close up to 350 stores if landlords are inflexible. As noted by many retailers, there has been a massive shift to online shopping due to coronavirus restrictions, Premier Retail Chief Executive Mark McGuinness said. The swing away from shopping in stores has sharpened our focus on shop profitability, he told reporters. We have closed 137 stores in the past 7 years, demonstrating our willingness to walk away from stores with unrealistic rents. So, could this be also, we saw Stocklands were getting out of some of their centres. They were divesting $1 trillion. $1 trillion out of it. They'd already gotten... No, sorry. $1 billion. $1 billion. They've already gotten 500 million out of it. So they're getting $1 billion out of these centers. And where were they putting a lot of it? Into logistics, into warehouses. While it's not Premier Retail's objective to close any stores, should landlords not accept this major shift in consumer preference and shopping behavior and adjust their rents accordingly, more stores will close. If we can't reach commercial terms on a suitable rental agreement, we can just leave. The company's underlying earnings before interest and tax result includes a 8.7% million expense to strip out our stores and leave, but it is not counted for any redundancies, said Mr. McGuinness, saying the aim would be to redeploy staff to other outlets where landlords understand what's going on. If landlords do that, they will be responsible for job losses, and it will be them making... Oh, that's bullshit, okay? That is cowardly. It really is. You know, if you're going to shut shops because you're not happy with the deal of your landlords and you can't find other jobs for people, it's you that are firing them. Don't shift that onto landlords. If they're stupid enough to let businesses go away, I mean, that's their mistake. But don't put those job losses on them. You know, that doesn't sit well with me there. He's just playing politics. I mean, this is just politics, and he's pandering to the media, you know, to get them on side when he probably wants to increase his profits. But I guess that's what you have to do, eh? Maybe he's right in a way that the landlords, real estate investment trusts, need to start, wake up and have a dose of reality. The market's shifted. Will they be left behind? Premier, which also has a stake in Breville, worth $1 billion, says 70% of its stores in Australia and New Zealand are currently either in holdover or with leases soon to expire, given the company maximum flexibility to review performance. 3 stores at Market City in Sydney closed this week. Sydney City has been decimated by the pandemic. Our sales in the stores we had in that centre were down 70%, and the landlord wanted to charge us our rent and not give us COVID-19 relief, so we left. Pleasingly, there's a lot of landlords who respect and value the brands, and there are some landlords that don't get it. Mr. McGuinness would not estimate how many jobs could be lost, only saying, I hope none. I hope that the landlords are all sensible enough to reason, to understand that without Premier Investments brands in their centres are worth less. What do you think, guys? Do you think he's trying to shift the blame onto landlords so he's not blamed for cutting people's jobs? Breaking down the financial result, Premier said record Peter Alexander sales up 16.3% to $288.2 million were able to offset weaker trading in other areas of the company. Smiggles was hit hard by school closures, but online sales boomed and the brand was once again flourishing as schools and stores reopened. Premier is, however, closing its remaining 4 Smiggles businesses in Hong Kong and walking away from 55 out of 131 Smiggles stores in the UK this financial year. I can't say I'm a fan of them. They just seem really expensive. I think it's more aimed at, frankly, women. With that, Rachel loves that stuff. Overall, online sales also broke records, up 49% compared to the previous fiscal year. Premier Chairman Solomon Lew said the result was not a product of luck, but a reflection of a decade of strategic targeted investments. It was not due to the non-payment of job seeker or rent, the billionaire added. Asked about Victoria's second wave lockdown, he fired a shot at Premier Daniel Andrews, saying he needed to do something significant to help the state economy recover. He has a responsibility to the Victorians. What's transpired here, he needs to make good. So there we have it, everyone. Threats of up to 350 store closures, blaming the landlords for potential job losses. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think it's the landlord's fault? If they're stupid enough to let tenants go away or leave in this market? I mean, there will be a delay before the real estate investment trusts appreciate if the market's shifted. That won't just happen instantly. Some businesses like this will actually have to step up and leave, and jobs will be lost. This is called a recession. I mean, this is the thing. He's blaming it on the landlords when even if they give him cuts and the businesses are still not viable, then he has to shut them and fire people. Is he going to blame that on the landlords then? I mean, this is a luxury item, this stuff. Everything in here is absolutely a luxury item. You can get it much cheaper at other places. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys. Are you a fan of any of these brands? Or do you find cheaper alternatives? Do you think they're just starting to feel the recession and shifting the blame? As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or KuCoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode.